Firstly, there is a fly buzzing about here, and a dog snoring beside me. Okay, just so you know what's going on. Okay, so one of the messages I put out recently was in response to um, a derogatory thing I saw on social media pertaining to same-sex marriage. All right. So I don't like speaking about this. There he goes. There he goes. You know what? There might be two. There may be two of them. I don't like speaking about same-sex marriage only because it is of such little significance. And how can I say that, right? I can say that because at the level of spirit, the body is a tool. The body is a tool that we utilize for our human experience, okay? I have spoken to this before. I'm speaking about it again in this way. The body allows us to, one second. The body allows us, in a way, to have the experience of our choosing. So, we come into form, we come into manifestation in form, incarnate as a human on the earth plane. We come in as male or female. We come in as, born to this family or that, the one who goes to college at this university or at this trade school or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And the body allows us to do this. The body allows us to have the human experience. The body itself is temporary. Okay. At the level of spirit, we are not male or female. At the level of spirit, we are both. At the level of spirit, we are all. We are everything. So, if you think of it in this way, at the level of spirit, you can choose to be whatever you want, whatever form you want. As a human, we have been taught to put significance and importance on these things that aren't really that important. They are only important to the one having the experience. So my body is only really important to me and perhaps to my husband, okay? My body is only really important to me and those who are in very close proximity to me that are having the familial relationship, because I appear to be a woman. I appear to be female. I appear to be, right? And in this experience, I am a mom and a sister and a wife. My son is male, born male. He acts as a boy, but that is all part of his experience. So what I'm saying is, it is possible for a person to be born feeling like they are in the wrong body. Of course, they're not in the wrong body. And what I mean by that is they've chosen that body for the learning and the growth that they want to have at the level of spirit. They just don't remember, okay? So if a person is born into a body and they feel like their body is not aligned to who they truly are, they've chosen it for that reason. They on some level, for some reason, want to have that experience of feeling disconnected from their form, okay? It's not for us to judge. That is their personal experience. It is their personal challenge. When you see two women as a romantic couple or two men as a romantic couple, it has nothing to do with you. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. And the reason that you pass judgment on it and think it's wrong is because your religions have told you it's wrong, based on an interpretation from text that has been read. And I would say, based on an interpretation of texts that have been read and personal preferences and personal biases that have influenced that interpretation, okay? So at the level of spirit, understand there is no such thing as male and female. There is a perfect balance of both. So there goes the dog snoring over here. So, I don't know, can you, there she is, snoring away, okay? Anyway, so I'm speaking about this because this continues to be an issue, as does the color of skin, okay? At the level of spirit, you're not a body anyway. At the level of spirit, we know the body is only a creation of, or a manifestation of the one who's going to come and incarnate and have that experience. So you actually chose that body. It is as you wanted it to be for whatever goal you had, okay? So, instead of, and why, this is very empowering once you know it. Once you know it, it's very empowering because you no longer have to deny your body. You no longer have to want to not claim it. Once you realize that, yes, you actually created the form that you're in for your experience. It cannot be any other way. Once you accept that, then then you can accept the divinity in the form. The love handles, the wrinkles, the whatever. This is the form that I chose to have, right? It doesn't mean that I don't do things to perhaps change the form or make it better, which, is all based on your own opinion. But understand that we're basing everything on our own opinion of what better is. Okay? So, at the level of spirit, we get to the point where we realize that everything that we have believed our whole lives was coming from a specific, yes, I like to say point of attention. I love that saying. Thank you, David Icke. But it's being, everything that we believe is coming from a particular point of perspective, okay? And the perspective has been influenced and informed by all of the people around us, the television we watch, movies we watch, right? I mean, we know this because society and our superstars, we are told through our actresses and actors what beautiful looks like, okay? Through the airbrushed, filtered, yada, 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 we're told what beauty is. We're taught that. We don't get to choose. We do once we are awakened, but until we are awakened, we're not choosing what beauty is. We are just continuing a teaching that has been handed down to us of what that is, okay? So, what I'm hearing is it's time to redefine. It's time to redefine everything that you have ever thought, because those thoughts were given you were your worldly inheritance, not your godly inheritance, your worldly inheritance, okay? So it is time to redefine everything. What is beautiful? What is good? What is love? What is, right? On and on and on. If I couldn't, I'm sure I would not be able to name the amount of times that someone has criticized or judged something about me or the way I have conducted myself or whatever, and at the same time, there would be someone else who would praise me for it. Well, what does that tell you? That tells you that none of this is fixed. None of it is fixed. So when you have a concept of homosexuality, whatever term you want to use for it, understand that if there is one human that can say, yes, it's good, and one human that can say it is not good, at the level of God, God says it's all good. It's all good. Because for one thing, the experience in human form is a temporary experience. It is not an eternal experience. It is when you leave the human form, when you leave the body, you are not the human anymore. You are the child of God. That is the eternal aspect of you. That is the truth of you. You are the one created in the likeness and the image of God in perfection. You are perfect. So when we want to all these we want to contrive these adulterous or unacceptable practices. Okay. Now I have to be careful there because there are still some in this human mind that this one that, I is referred to as Missy. I still have some things there that, I can't, I know that are practiced in other countries and are acceptable in other countries that are not acceptable by my measure. The difference is I know it's my measure. It's my measure. Okay. So when we look at two adults who are capable of making these decisions, two adults who are able to be wholly accountable in their lives for the choices that they make. It is not our place to say whether their life path is right or wrong. It is not. It's not our place. People could have told me that my first husband, my second husband were not good for me. I should not marry them. And I would have not listened anyway. I came to find out later that, well, they were good for me in one way or another, but it didn't last. Okay? It didn't last. It didn't matter that I'm a woman and they're men. It didn't last. What does it matter if they would have been other women? Or if I were male and they were male? What does it matter? Once you understand that you're not the body, you are not the body. The body is your resource. It is your tool. It is here for your benefit to have the human experience in whatever way you see fit. Okay? And your brother, your neighbor, your sister, the same is true there. We have marriages between heterosexual people, men and women, that and divorce as well. Everything in this world has been called a sin, for goodness sake. Everything has been labeled a sin. Divorce is a sin. Sex before marriage is a sin. Same-sex marriage is a sin. On and on and on. That's all human. And it's not just human, it's what the human has been taught to believe. Not really true, not in reality. What reality are you choosing? Do you want to align to the reality of God, or do you want to align to the reality of the human experience? Because the human experience says a whole lot of nothing, a whole lot of things that aren't true. Okay? And that's not coming from the heart of the human, it's coming from the indoctrination of the human. So, when we get to the level of spirit, we understand that love is all there is, and the varying distortions of it that manifest in the human experience, right? And we're just have so much emphasis on this form that our bodies, that we parade around in for a time, and that is really what it is. My grandmother communicated to me while she was passing that it's just a suit we wear. We put it on like a Halloween costume and we parade around in it until we take it off. That's the body. And it's absolutely true. That is the body. The what of us that powers the body is eternal. And it doesn't end when the body seems to die. That doesn't end. It just keeps going in whatever way it feels is best. Okay. So I'm really kind of pleading, though I know it will take as long as it's going to take, but I'm really kind of pleading with all of you, my brothers and sisters, those of us who understand that the sex of the body is really not important, the color of the skin is really not important. It's no more important than whether you're short or tall, or or fat or thin, or none of these things are really important except to the person who has that form and has to get around in life. All right? It's not important. The values that have been placed upon these things have been done so through and by fear, as a means of control of the mind, to encourage division, to encourage hostility, to discourage us from unity and union with each other. All right? So every time you believe that crap, you are empowering those who have brainwashed you into thinking that that you're in the right to condemn someone else for anything. That it's absolutely, okay, even if you can't get that far, let's look at it from this place. Of all of the atrocities going on in the world that we think we're in, is this really something that deserves your attention? I mean, really? Two consenting adults that are really capable of writing their own life story. How about we feed everyone on the planet? How about we clean up our oceans? How about we stop the abuses of children? How about we focus on that? All right. You want to focus your attention on something and make a difference? Leave these consenting adults alone. They are wholly capable of writing their own story. I love you all. And, and we keep going. And we keep going. And peace and love may you be blessed.